Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
You're most welcome to a new era of banking at GCB Bank, where there are no long queues at the bank. Because you can enjoy swift access to your account anywhere, anytime with GCB e-banking solutions. Experience a world where you have financial convenience from a bank with integrity. A world where you can focus on your business and trust us to provide you with limitless business banking solutions that will take you to new heights. When you need a loan, sooner is better than later. So we give it to you in 24 hours to make sure the experience is memorable. Whatever you need, sir, we have an exceptional team of diverse professionals ready to serve you with a smile. Trust us with your money. We are bigger, better, safe, and ready to take you places beyond banking.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
There's always that one individual so selfless and caring. The world still has caring people. Getting unexpected help is a joy for us. That's why at Prudential Life, we've introduced Ultimate, the no-lapse guarantee on your Premier and Classic farewell plans. The biggest challenge for most clients having a funeral policy is the fact that when they are unable to pay premiums due to financial challenges, the policies elapse and the full benefit falls off. We have introduced the no-lapse guarantee on our funeral plans. This ensures that you don't lose your full benefit during challenging financial moments. Prudential. Always listening, always understanding.
Central University, we are not just giving theoretical knowledge, but also real-life practical immersion. Our projects and research are targeted at solving real-life problems within our built and a natural environment. My name is Che Joseph Bafo, an architecture student. The faculty and facilities available to us make us industry ready. The project I'm working on recently won an award when my colleagues and I visited the Netherlands. Central University makes you industry ready.
Witness innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
There's always that one individual so selfless and caring. The world still has caring people. Getting unexpected help is a joy for us. That's why at Prudential Life, we've introduced Ultimate, the no-lapse guarantee on your premier and classic farewell plans. The biggest challenge for most clients having a funeral policy is the fact that when they are unable to pay premiums due to financial challenges, the policies elapse and the full benefit falls off. We have introduced the no-lapse guarantee on our funeral plans. This ensures that you don't lose your full benefit during challenging financial moments. Prudential. Always listening, always understanding.
You're most welcome to a new era of banking at GCB Bank, where there are no long queues at the bank. Because you can enjoy swift access to your account anywhere, anytime with GCB e-banking solutions. Experience a world where you have financial convenience from a bank with integrity. A world where you can focus on your business and trust us to provide you with limitless business banking solutions that will take you to new heights. When you need a loan, sooner is better than later. So we give it to you in 24 hours to make sure the experience is memorable. Whatever you need, sir, we have an exceptional team of diverse professionals ready to serve you with a smile. Trust us with your money. We are bigger, better, safe, and ready to take you places beyond banking.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
At Central University, we are not just giving theoretical knowledge, but also real-life practical immersion. Our projects and research are targeted at solving real-life problems within our built and a natural environment. My name is Che Joseph Bafo, an architecture student. The faculty and facilities available to us make us industry ready. The project I'm working on recently won an award when my colleagues and I visited the Netherlands. Central University makes you industry ready.
Hello? 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 Please, can we calm down a little bit? We are coming to have our mentorship session, so when we are done, you can start with your things. Okay, Razak. Are we good? Yeah, he said. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome once again to our mentorship session. The mentorship sessions for Nsmq 2019 are sponsored by GOIL. GOIL is our sponsor for Nsmq Mentorship Session 2019. This morning, our mentor is Miss Lois Efua Otrewa Damte, and I'm going to read a brief profile about her before she comes on to speak to us. So she's the Vice President of the African Materials Research Society, the UG chapter. This society aims at bridging the gap between industries and student research, as well as embarking on community outreaches to increase awareness of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, especially among girls. She has recently completed a collaborative Masters of Philosophy program with the Department of Materials Science and Engineering here at the University of Ghana, Legon, and Aston University, Birmingham, UK. Lois recently won an academic award of excellence to support student education in the field of materials characterization from the International Center for Diffraction Data, USA. She won the top poster prize at the recently ended Pan-African Conference on Crystallography from Royal Society of Chemistry, which is currently receiving a lot of media attention. She is also a coordinator of Sankofa Mentorship Hub, Synergies Institute, with the aim of teaching science and mathematics in fun ways. She is serving as Secretary of Vacation Initiative in Science Africa, with the aim of engaging students in fun science engagement exercises. Lois has a strong passion for theater arts, that's dance and drama. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we put our hands together for our mentor?
Thank you so much, Amma. Thank you so much. I can see my boys are on fire back there. It's amazing. It's amazing. And today is a very happy day for me. Today happens to be no other day than when my school is competing, Laboni Senior. Walk back. Walk back. Thank you so much. So, I can see my boys are not happy. Let's just go on. So I'm going to use a story of my life to tell a brief story here. And I hope that we are going to learn something from it. And that's what mentorship is all about. We learn from each other as well. So I'm going to show you a bit of some slides as well. So you can just look behind me. It's so small. But I was born into a family of three, my mother, my father, and my little sister. My little sister is a fashion designer. She sewed this dress for me, so you can look at me. And I went to Providence School Limited in Kotobabi. You do? Okay. And at Providence School, I was the local champion. Basically, I'm telling you a story. I was one of the students where, like, we can top first from nursery to KG. But trust me, that was the story that brought me down in my life. Because it gave me the passion and the zeal that I was very relaxed in life. Because I was thinking I was competing with only my peers in my school. Not knowing for basic education certificate examination, I was supposed to compete with the whole of Ghana, right? Yeah. So I was very relaxed in my school, and I chose Achimota School to go to, but I didn't get to my first choice school. I got my second choice school, And it is what has made me now, so I might say. I went to Laboni Senior High School where I did science. Can I learn, please, boys? We are saying this snappy. So I did science. In the class of 47 boys, we were only 5 girls. And finding a balance between being the local champion who has come down using her grades and trying to make up for the grades that I lost was quite a hard time for me. Back in school, I was very ill as well, so I was removed from the boarding house in the second year. And my time was the first time that we went 4 years. So we're completing all the 4-year scheme. And I can remember for sure that almost all the 5 girls in my schools were smart, in my class were smart, exceptionally. But I was the only one lagging behind. And I remember I had to make friends. I can actually roll with guys like that, just for them to keep me apart with what was being studied at school. And I remember that I had 4 friends that we could go right after school, right after I had a drip on my hand, so I used to wear cardigans all the time. People thought it was fashion, but it wasn't. It was because I was protecting the drip on my hand. So I remember so many boys taught me along the way to get to where I am. I might have not made all the AAs, but I made grades to go to the uni, and that's what is important. Because sometimes in life, life can just steer you towards a certain passion you might not be able to know. But whatever or wherever you find yourself in, you make the best out of it. That is what I've learned so far. So I later went to material science and engineering at University of Ghana, Legon. I met the same competition again. I did engineering in a class of 16 boys who were 2 girls. And again, I got ill. Yeah, it was part of me. And I didn't want to accept it, but I wanted to move past it because it's not what you're made of or your composition, but it's about where you are and what you have to make best out of it. So I remember still rolling with the boys. One of the toughest subjects I had was engineering drawing. I could just not picture what was being drawn, but I needed to make a grade to move. And I can tell you that when I went to University of Ghana, I had 2 resits. I actually did resits a couple of times, but it didn't define who I am. So I was low on my grades. If you come to the uni, you understand, the senior high school. As at level 100, I had a 1.25. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it. Why? Because in the engineering school, Dr. Kaufman will verify if you make a grade below 1.5, you'll be sacked from the engineering school. So we needed to sit up and make the best out of it. So I remember that I needed to burn a lot of midnight candles and, tell boys to help me to be able to make a par, at least not graduate with a lower honors. You get me? So mostly the only time you would see me in my room is when I'm come to eat or I'm come to take a nap or something of that sort. And I go back to the reading room. So you see, if you can't find your balance in something, you need to make extra efforts to be able to get there. Because you might understand that some people are already ahead of you, but you need to catch up. And the beginning doesn't justify your means, it's the end that justifies your means. So somewhere in level 200, final semester, I picked up to about 2.57. And trust me, in the university, moving from a lower to an upper is really tough. It's a very big gap. 2 to 3.0, it's a very big gap. 300, I was on fire. Trust me. And I must confess that long and short of it, I got to 3.57. I didn't even make a first class anyways, but I was just a 0.03 to make a first class. But look at where I was coming from, 1.25 to 3.5. Trust me, it was a race. You dare not. So somewhere in 400, I was awarded a project, so our final year project, which was to synthesize a catalyst, what we call a catalyst, something to speed up a chemical reaction or either slow it down, to convert oils to biofuels. I remember we were 2 in the class that were given that project, one Nigerian guy called Nsmq, and I took up the project. And trust me, getting to the end of that project was just something else. It was a new project in Ghana. Basically, most of the materials that were needed to do that project was just something else. I remember traveling all the way to Tamale, to Kumasi, just going to all ends and all borders to get the project done. And that was what brought me, it was all the steps to getting to where I was. And all the story made sense after a while, okay? So going to material science and engineering, I'll just talk a bit about material science and engineering. Basically, it's being able to find a property of a material, okay, to meet a structure. So let's take it as though back in age, we were using metals for implants, right? But now you can have a material that is synthesized in the form of ceramic that can mimic the bone without wearing off. Because when you have the metal in there and it's in the oxygen environment, it will wear off, right? Into the bloodstream. But now, materials and modern materials science is mimicking a lot of things that can be able to have the same strength as that bone material. So I did something with oils, basically converting oils to fuels. And at the end of the project, long and short of it, it was a good project, and I remember sending a lot of emails to lecturers outside the country just for a certain material that can make me proceed with the project. And at the end of the project, the email got back to me that I was awarded a Liverhome Royal Society African Award for a student that has been able to go to all ends to be able to get that project done in Ghana. Thank you so much for the clap, but we are moving very snappy. So the Liverhome Royal Society Award won me an internship, international internship outside the country in Birmingham in UK with Aston University, a European Bioenergy Research Institute. I went there as someone with a very strong theory based because I had done the project myself. But now I had met equipment that were running based on that plant that was converting the oil to biofuels. My guy, all of a sudden, it's like being moved from theory and trying to put your hands on something which is equipment was something else. Getting over the whole accent of the English accent, here and hey, hi, it was just something else before trying to get the project done. I remember one professor telling me that, you know something, I'm not going to teach you this equipment because it's never going to come to your country anyways. And I ran to the room and cried. And one lecturer known as Dr. Mark Isaacs took me and said, I'm going to mentor you. I'm going to teach you on every equipment. And I sat up, cleaned my tears, and was ready to learn at all times. So all the equipment, there were about 10 equipment there that we were using for our characterization. When I say characterization, it means being able to find whether the material you've even created can do the work at all. So he took me up, took me straight, level by level, to be able to understand how the equipment could work. I was always ready to learn. I remember every time closing from school around 9 p.m. and moving from my house to the school was about an hour by train. And I'll get to the house around 12. And I'm still moving. And I wake up as early as 6, and I'm the first person to open our door in the university because I needed to get what I was going to do before I get to the university. So I remember within 2 months, because I was there for only 8 months, within 2 months, I had gained grounds on the equipment. And I was even having undergraduate students in Birmingham under me, about 3 of them. I spent sleepless nights in the laboratory just to be able to get to work on that equipment. Don't throw your theory away. It's going to help you with your practicals later. And I know all of you here, if you have some passion for science, you already have your science strong base. But I also come in a different form to say that if you're also an average student in science, it's just fine. You just need to show extra passion and extra time to be able to make up for what you need to do. Yeah. Go back. Yeah. So before the end of my internship at Aston University, I was able to publish just 2 papers in my field of study. And I did a presentation in London, Belgrave, with a couple of people from Cambridge, Oxford, and all of that. And I was the second in the competition. So I was awarded the Early Research Career Award in my competition in that region of space. And from that offered me a master's program to do at University of Ghana. But it was a collaborative research work with the Aston University, the European Bioenergy. So I did 1 year of my master's study here and did 1 year of my studies in the UK. So I started my master's program in 2015. This is an interesting program as well. And our master's program was supposed to end in 2 years. And currently, as I'm speaking to you, we are in 2019 and I've not yet graduated. Ask me why. Because we started the master's program, I ended up going outside the country to do my research and coming back to University of Ghana to continue with the research work as well. And I remember there were a lot of ups and downs. And without the master's degree too, I could do something, probably like a teaching assistant, which I was already doing, and all of that. But I couldn't do, a high-tech research work without the master's. Anyway, I passed, they tell me with my degree, they tell me, oh, we need your master's degree to be able to do this. We need your master's degree. Trust me, during that limbo of time, I was very depressed. I went through a lot of depression states, stuck myself in the room, was wondering and figuring out what was wrong and what did I do wrong. This is someone who was very smart in class, and all of a sudden. And during that time, I was doing a lot of applications outside the country, which I'll urge you, all of you, to do as well. There are a lot of fully funded internship outside the country. You just need to apply and get your work on point. Your proposal, you can always see me or anyone else to read through your proposal and get some hands-on experience. You are going to leave here, Nsmq, and you are going to go out there waiting for your results. You can apply for an internship to do a practical work as well. So I remember I put in an application which was in France by then. And I remember the criteria was like, you needed to be a PhD student or a postdoc student, or after a PhD student. And I was like, well, who cares? Let me just put in this application. If it comes back that, oh, I failed, that's fine. It doesn't really take anything off my skin. So I put in the application, and I was selected among 35 students all over African. I was selected as one of the 20 students without even a PhD, because my lecturer took me through my proposal and was that good, and I was selected. And I remember getting to France, taking the award, and someone said, oh, I think it was a mistake we chose you because you don't have a PhD. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm already here. Okay? So sometimes there are boundaries in certain things that we want to go in for. But look beyond the boundaries, shake off on your shoulder, and just move ahead and get that award or whatever that you want to do. Just lay your hands on it and do it. So somewhere in early this year, there was a competition as well. I like those stuff. I've received a lot of failures. I can show you a lot of rejections in my email. One thing about the rejections is that when I receive the rejections, I shake it off that moment and apply for something else. You enter into a storeroom. I'm like, I've brought my application for that. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you. I was like, okay, well, can you find someone else who can help me? I'll push for it. I remember doing an internship in Accra Brewery some time back, and I was the only girl in the engineering department. And I needed to change to wear my blue and climb some boilers and stuff like that. And a guy knocked me and said, can you climb this? I'm like, watch me. I'm going to climb it. So beyond every boundaries, I shake it off and just move forward. If I fall down, what is the big deal? I'll get up and shake it off. So there was a competition known as the Pan-African Crystallography Award that we needed to enter into. So I put in my application, And on the day of the competition, when I met the people who were competing, I pulled down my application gently because I felt like these people were very high on the ranks, that there were no way I could meet up with them. So I pulled down my application. Then one of my lecturers saw me and said that, hey, girl, like, I saw that you applied. What happened? I was like, looking at the people who are competing, no, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. And he was like, just put in the application. I mean, what does it take off your skin if you need to do that? So I put it in. I competed. It was a 3-day event. So we were slashed down. We were slashed down the ranks. And I quite remember on that grateful day, I was called as the winner of that competition based on 200 entries from all over Africa, Europe, Italy, and beyond. And when I won that award, it was from International Center for Diffraction Data and the Royal Society of Chemistry. And what they did was that it received a lot of media attention. So I moved all around in media. I didn't really see it. I was just a girl that went to bed and woke up the next morning, and I was all over media. For some international award, I really didn't feel I had reached there yet. But people acknowledged those efforts. So you see, the little things that you do can pick up. The little things, they all add up to it. Okay, so don't give up. If you are in a situation where you have received one rejection, you feel that, hey, I am good for nothing. Trust me, you are good for something. You have just not found it yet. And keep on applying. You're going to get it. So that was a lot of the media attention as well. And, I mean, beyond all of this, I like to exploit other things. I write. I'm a good writer. So I remember when I was little, my dad used to tell me that I should put all my stories in one piece. So I put all the stories that I had on my bedtime into one storybook. So I have a first edition of the storybook, and I have another. So I write as well, and it's for a storybook for junior high school as well. I also do plays, drama. So I remember working with a professor in France, and we were supposed to do a choreograph for cancer patient. So we danced a choreograph, and all my choreography skills that I used to do back in wherever, I've done a couple of music videos for Willie and Mike, and you could see me in a lot of music videos. We'll put it into the translation of science, into a cancer research. And we did it for the lab, and it picked up the views. You can't even imagine it. So I did a lot of plays, and I remember my first play was on this stage. It was called This April's Fool, and I was the old lady in the play, and I was the main character as well in the play. So you see, sometimes you might have some talent, but you feel that because of your science and how difficult it is, you can't really put it. Always find a measure between the two. It will always work out. You're a good writer. You can be a science poet. You can be a science dramatist. Everything you want to do, you can find a balance between them and fuse them all together. So one of my biggest passion is science communication, which is SciComm. And it's basically using a lot of science drama, science poetry, science choreography to tell a story. So if you have something like a fuel, and you're going to communicate it with villagers, okay, or people in rural areas, let me put it in quotes, they wouldn't be able to understand your technical science terms, okay? So we needed to find a drama to put it to be able to make them understand that science communication. And that is one of my biggest passions. So if you are here as well and you can write, you can always contact me so that we make means from that. So I'm currently working with Vacation Initiative in Science Africa. What we do is using fun science engagement exercises to be able to teach fun science to junior high school and even lower primary. So we've been indulged with about 20 schools all around, and we are teaching them on infectious diseases and their outbreaks as well. Volunteers are needed. If you are done after Nsmq and you want to join the Vacation Initiative in Science Africa, we are in collaboration with the University of Cambridge and University College of London, and we are doing this project everywhere in Africa. You can always contact me and join, and we can put you as part of it as well. I'm also a director for what we call the Nsmq Mentorship Hub. And what we do is to present local role models who have been able to do great in science. You're also a role model. You can also tell somebody how you learned your science, how the science came about to you, and how you were able to grasp onto your science to be able to teach them as well. So as that one as well, we need volunteers. So if you are done with here and you feel like being part of the Sankofa Mentorship Hub, you can join as well. Thank you. So I've said a lot. We all have our personal stories, but our personal stories don't make us. This is not the time that you are going to give up, because you have come too far away to give up at this point. So I'm going to give you 4 of my take-home messages. What I'm going to tell you is that you might as well write in a book, #we move. Even if you fall, make sure you're not getting stuck at where you fall, but you're moving. Even if you're moving at a slow pace or you're moving very slowly, the only thing that matters is for you to move. Make sure you're not stuck at one point, trying to figure out and getting depressed at the long run. Move away from where you find yourself falling and move further. Push harder than you can ever think of pushing. If you think that where you have reached, trust me, a lot of people have gotten there and they are still moving. So you should push harder at what you do and push further than you can even think of until you cannot go anymore. And at that time, you can actually achieve what you have reached. Give everything your best shot. A lot of you are going to leave here from senior high school to university. You chose some courses that you wanted to do, okay? But you might end up getting other courses. Trust me, whatever course you find yourself, make sure you give everything your best shot. Make your best out of everywhere you find yourself in. Do not be undermined that, okay, I chose this course and I wasn't given. Make your best shot out of everywhere you find yourself in. And my last point is that every day is a learning process. I am learning from you, you're also learning from me. So we are all learning from each other. So you make sure you take advantage of every situation and learn from it and push it further than you can as well. So finally, what I'll leave you with is that we are all scientists here. You are not too. What makes you different is that we are just curious. And you have to be curious to know certain things that you want to know. So we can all be scientists. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time with us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please, we have 5 minutes for any questions that anybody might have. Anybody who has a question? We're just taking 5 minutes of your time.
Any questions?
Anybody? Okay, if there are no questions, we'll say thank you to you.
Thank you so much
again.
for having me, Amma. God, great.
Right.
And all the best, guys. Anything that happens, you are good at it. We are supporting you.
And please, before we close, some questionnaires have been given to you, so please fill them. And then when you're done, raise your hand for the PAs to come and take them. Once again, the mentorship sessions for Nsmq 2019 are brought to you by Goyle. Thank you very much.
Hello, those of you who registered to go on tour this morning, the buses are in. All right. I made an announcement earlier that if you are not in closed footwear, you can.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goil. Good energy.